Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema. Sit down. I apologize for one, being late on this video, and two, not sounding great. I picked up a cold when I was home most of last week, which is also why you haven't seen all of the trailers that I reacted to last week. Those will be coming after this one. But I do apologize because I got a little bit of a cold situation going on. Woke up and it's always the worst in the morning. But when I woke up, I realized I fell asleep before halftime on the Monday Night Football game, which is when a little trailer dropped. And ironically, we just watched the official trailer here on this channel because I was behind, and now we have the final trailer. So I'm very interested to see what we got going on. So let's waste no time. Why don't you pull up a chair, take a seat. We are getting ready to take a look at the final trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water. And as I said in my last video, which was the official trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water, you can see that reaction right up there. But as I was saying in that video, Avatar not really my thing, but this movie in particular seems to be leaning into the things that would make Avatar my thing, right? Like, I always kind of have had issues with the human half of the Avatar story. Like, fill me up with the world of Pandora and the Na'vi and like getting into all of that stuff. Here for it. Human story stuff, not so much. And the upswing to a movie like this takes place like I think a decade or so later from the original movie. Jake Sully is a Na'vi at this point with his avatar. And you're kind of focusing on him and Natiri's family. We've seen that they are running. There's a human threat once again. So, like, there's always the possibility that that plays out, not in a way that really works for me. But with Jake Sully being a Na'vi and focusing on his family, the majority of the movie could lean into the things that I would like to see, which is the idea of this people on this world that we're not from, and getting to see more of, you know, the family and the community and the other things that go on in the Navi's world would be really awesome. The idea, you know, they're obviously kind of on the run from something, which brings them to the water people of the Na'vi, which is something else I'm really excited about, because like it really seems like we are leaning into those cultures, and those are the things that work in this world. I don't care for the humans, and I wonder if this final trailer will give us more of a clue as to what's going on the human half of this movie, because the teaser and the official trailer have shown a little like war coming, but not really much with the human race. So that's the make or break thing for me. Now, regardless of what the story does, the visual effects stuff here is beyond amazing. I just saw a little bit in like a feature that I was saying this last trailer, like it looked like they were actually underwater, like they weren't shooting dry on wet. Or dry for wet, right? Which is what Aquaman did. It looked like they were more in the water, which is how they... it seems like they shot a lot of Black Panther Wakanda Forever in tanks. And sure enough, for the first time ever, people are wearing mocap suits under the water. Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana and legend Stephen Lang. I had seen all of them kind of speak a little bit to the fact that like they're putting on these suits, they've got breathing tanks, that they've got like trainers, they got to go through all this crazy training to pull off this stuff that's being shot under the water. So like Jim Cameron, he spares no length to go and pull these things off, and like it's one of those where, you know, dry for wet doesn't really matter here, because you're completely digitally replacing the person in the mocap suit. So it's all gonna be visual effects anyway, but like you're gonna capture in like it'll be fascinating to see. I mean, we're already seeing what it looks like under the water, but like to see how they transfer the shots from under the water into the computer to then make it, you know, I don't know, but it's wild, and I'm not entirely shocked, but it is wild that he put them in a tank underwater. Like, and they do the stuff with like the balls, they're like floating balls on the top to help with lighting and stuff. But like underwater, it looked very intricate. And I'll be fascinated to see more behind the scenes after the movie comes out. But yeah, I'm here to see more water things. I'm here to see more creatures. I'm here to see more Na'vi. I'm not really here for the human race in this franchise. So I have a feeling this trailer might make me not as excited as the first two, because if it's the final trailer, the one piece that we're missing really is why the humans have come back to Pandora after all this time. So let's get the trailer up. Let's not waste any more of your or my time, because it's all up in here. Let's take a look at the final trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water. There we see the Sully family flying into the water world.
Why do you come to us?
Now, see, here's the why.
I just want to keep my family safe. Treat them as our brothers and sisters. Teach them our ways.
They're underwater. That's wild.
If you want to live here, you have to ride. Let's do it.
Just breathe. Breathe.
So this is the stuff that I'm so here for, man. Like, look at this. Like, it's just wild.
Outcasts, that's all they see.
I see.
Motion picture event. It is gonna be an event. A generation.
I'm a warrior like you. I'm supposed to fight. Protect the people. Let's get it done.
Yo! Oh, man. Dude.
Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, voiceover guy.
3D.
Where'd he come from?
Only in theaters, December 16th.
I don't think I've heard voiceover guy in any of the other trailers. Did we?
Now.
Did we? Usually that's just the they don't use the voiceover. That threw me off. That again. I gotta tell you, man. Considering that we've gotten 3 trailers for this movie, Cameron and his team are really not giving very much away at all, right? Like, you pretty much just have like the main pieces and a lot of beauty shots, right? It's like, we know that the Sully family is on the run. The humans are back. They're gonna bring that war to the water people at some point. But in the meantime, they're gonna start to try to become part of that tribe. And that's the interesting thing too, right? Like, with all the destruction and stuff at the end, it'll be interesting to see how the Na'vi have rebuilt themselves 10 years in the future, and what, Jake and co are up to, right? Like they haven't shown us really any of that, right? We've gotten a couple sneak peeks of like some stuff with the original Na'vi people, but we really haven't seen a ton of that. This obviously focused much more on the Sully family, but it really feels like, you got your Sully family on the run, you're meeting, interacting, and, becoming one with this other, group of Na'vi that live in the water, and then the humans are gonna show up there, obviously, be on the beaches and starting war type things. But really, they haven't really shown too, like we've seen. I feel like we've seen a lot of the creatures in brief moments, but like some of these moments when they're like going underwater and all that's the training and all those things, like, we're just getting glimpses, and this movie is gonna be over 3 hours. Now, the other thing that's crazy is Jim Cameron did come out and say recently that the movie will need to be top 2 or 3, I believe, all time in the box office to be profitable. That means it's gonna need to make $2 billion, and it's one of these kind of things that's been interesting since the pandemic. The box office has looked a lot different, and I think No Way Home obviously proved you can get to $1 billion in the current movie climate that we're in. But I mean, Black Panther Wakanda Forever had, I think, a 68% drop, which is like massive, much bigger than the drop from the first one. And it just seems to be like that's more the norm. So are moviegoers really gonna go all out for Avatar The Way of Water they did for the first Avatar and get this thing over 2 billion? Like, coming off of the first weekend, there were people questioning if Black Panther Wakanda Forever would get to the $1 billion mark. Which is kind of crazy. It's over $500 million 2 weeks in, internationally or globally, I guess the way you say that. So I definitely think it's going to get to $1 billion, but I can't it's going to be a really interesting, I would say, kind of experiment, right? To see kind of Black Panther run unopposed for the next few weeks up until Avatar 2 comes out, and then see, that'll give a good projection idea of what this movie's going to need to accomplish to be able to get to $2 billion. That's a lot of money. And yeah, I think people are going to go nuts. Tickets are on sale now. I should probably get mine because I think it's going to be a little bit harder than Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but I still am yet to see any of the big movies do what Endgame did, the last $2 billion movie that we had. But, I haven't seen any movie since the pandemic, including the $1 billion No Way Home and what most likely should be $1 billion Wakanda Forever. The ticket sale stuff, for opening night and opening weekend, not really as intense as it was for Endgame. I mean, and Endgame was intense. If you didn't get your tickets for that first week in the first few hours, you were waiting a long time to get your tickets, and then they were continuing to sell. I haven't seen any of that. I mean, there were tons of seats on the opening. Let's take a look while we're talking about it. When I was looking, oh no, my phone's dead. But when I was looking at the Black Panther Wakanda Forever tickets the day they went on sale, I didn't jump on right away. And the theaters were really not super packed. In opening weekend, I mean, I was able to snag multiple tickets in multiple different theaters in different places. That really wasn't difficult. And Endgame was borderline impossible to get a ticket after the first day. So I'll be interested to see. There we go. My phone's back. I'll be interested to see what the theater is looking like for me.
Let's do Thursday, December 15th, 7 p. IMAX, AMC. I mean, yeah, that new Palisades Center. The 7:15 on Thursday is wide open. 7:15 at Garden State, a little bit more filled up, but still plenty of seats in there. Let's go. There's Palisades, there's Garden State. Let's see, Port Chester, 7:15, plenty of seats. Landmark, 7:30. That whole theater is open. And Majestic, 7:15, plenty of seats. Let's see what Friday looks like. This is what I'm saying, right? The pre-sales are really not popping off the way Endgame did. And, it's genuinely what you're going to meet. Garden State is, on me, is the most populated one at this point. Let's even look in the city. Even the Empire, Empire 25 in Times Square, that's got plenty of seats.
I'm not saying that this movie's not gonna make buku bucks. This is definitely gonna be $1 billion movie. But what is that if you're Disney, how do you approach that scenario, right? You're basically got James Cameron coming out all these years after the original movie, hoping to be able to ride the wave of what that original movie did, and makes a movie that's gonna have to make $2 billion at the box office to be profitable. That's nuts, and I don't know if it's doable in this new age of movie going. I think a lot of people prefer not to go to the theaters and prefer, and probably did during the pandemic, upgrade to bigger television sets, surround sound speakers. You're seeing movie theaters go out of their way to get closer to the home experience, because I think you're seeing more people go, I can wait till it gets to my screen, which would be a shame for a movie like this. I think this is a movie that you have to see in theaters, especially because of the 3D elements. And it's one of those, to say that out loud still always kind of messes with me, because I don't really find 3D all that good. The movies in 3D, 90 of the time I'm just gonna get the regular IMAX unless it's like IMAX 3D is the main go, but you really don't see that too much anymore because it doesn't work. Avatar that will, and this movie should be seen on a big screen. Having seen the original Avatar first on a small screen and then finally in IMAX 3D and 4K no less, right? Like everything upgraded. Like I can tell you the difference in that. I hated that movie to like that movie was enjoyable. I still have lots of issues with that movie, but like I came around a little bit more where I'm kind of excited for this one and the experience piece of it. But yeah, I mean, $2 billion is a lot to ask for at the box office. And based on what I'm seeing right now, this movie is not in pre-sales doing anything like the last $2 billion movie did. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out, right? Where Wakanda Forever gets to before Avatar comes out and how these Blue Cats do for the time and the run that they have, and if it can accrue the kind of money that I think James Cameron hopes it can. You'd have to imagine that Cameron went into this movie thinking, I'm going to make a movie that will make more money than the original. But it's going to be tough. That said, I think this trailer, once again, looks beautiful, and like I said, this movie's not really giving away too much. We're seeing the pieces that kind of really... I mean, even here, like I was like, okay, it started right at the beginning, right, where the Water Navi people are like, why are you here? What brings you to our place? Okay, you're going to get the why. And literally, it was just like, we got like 2 additional shots of the humans. Like, we're just trying to keep our family safe. Like, it's moving on in. So we're not seeing any of that stuff, how much of the humans we're going to get. I am encouraged and I'm excited. But I think, like when you think about these 3 trailers together, we've maybe gotten 5.5 minutes of footage in a 3.5-hour movie. It could go anyway, but I'm excited to finally at least be in the theater for it. Hopefully, it'll be packed by the time we actually get to that date. But that said, I'm gonna shut up. I've been talking for forever. This trailer pretty dope. Dug it. I liked all of the trailers to this point. But I don't know. The humans are an element in this franchise that I be interested to see how it plays out. But as far as the Navi stuff, the stuff in the Avatar Pandora world that I like, I continue to like what I see in these trailers. The question is, what about you? How big of an Avatar fan are you? How excited are you for this movie? Did you get your tickets already? How are the theaters looking at this point? A day, not even a day, 12 hours, give or take, into tickets being on sale. Do you think it's going to be an issue? What are you thinking about the trailers? What do you think about how much footage that we've actually seen from this movie? And is this movie going to work? Do you think this is going to be a win? Or do you think this is going to be like maybe James Cameron and Disney bit off more than they could chew, at least budgetarily? That's correct. What do you think about that $2 billion mark to be profitable? It's nuts. Anyway, man, put anything you got, good, bad, indifferent, on the final trailer for Avatar: The Way of Water down below in the comment section. Look forward to talking to you down there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new, you want to come hang out with the C-Man. Anytime we're talking movies, TV, trailer, reactions, you want to be here to see my review of the original Avatar after I saw it in IMAX 3D on the re-release. See my thoughts and how it upgraded for me because of the visual feats. If you want to see what I think of the new one, you just want to show a little love and support to this guy who's trying to keep a cold out of his voice so he can talk to you. This is the longest stretch I've gone without coughing or blowing my nose, so I'm working for you guys. You want to show a little love and support for all that? Hey, it's super simple. Come join C-Maniac Nation simply by jumping over there, hitting that subscribe button, hit that little bell if you want those alerts. And until next time, for the C-Man, Cinema Sit Down. I've been the C-Man. I'm signing off. Peace. Oh, you guys are still here. You snuck up on me. You must be looking for more of this guy. Well, I got 2 video options for you, man. Right up here and right over here. And if you want all those C-Man goodies, well, hey, come join the squad right on over there, and I'll catch you on the next one.